Hello, Legacy Sabers. So today we're going to continue our programming journey and talk about design mode today in code.org's designing area. Our essential question, how do I design an app call in App Lab? So ultimately, think of a common app that you use. Maybe it's Google Classroom, and think of that user interface of the main screen. So like Google Classroom, it has little boxes that you can click on, right? For each class that you're in. Ultimately, it says what you have to get done recently, what is in your to-do list, and it allows us to click on different classes. And then there's also that sidebar on the left that allows you to click on things as well. All of that is called the user interface, or what basically you are working on. Someone designed that user interface to make it work best. So what I want you to do is go to Google Classroom. There is a link that will take you to code.org's section of Introduction to Design Mode. I'm going to meet you there. Okay, so here we are. So now we're going to play around. What I want you to do is just go and click on these elements of the screen, try moving things around, seeing things. I'm going to close up the instructions so I get a little bit more room here. So over here, you'll see there's two different buttons. We have the code button and the design button. We're not looking at the code button yet. We're just looking at the design button. The other things that I want to point out to you, we have the ability to change what screen we're currently working on. So we can change to the garden screen, we can change to the home screen, trash screen, and then there's the ability to import and also the ability to create a brand new screen. Over here, we have the ability to drag in elements into our app. So we have buttons. That would be if I'm trying to, is there a button somewhere in here? There's not a button. Right here. Right here would be a button. Text input, you're expecting the user to type something for you. Label is anything that you want to print. You want to give information to the user, but you don't want them to be able to change it. And you also don't want them to be able to click on it. It's just a static piece of information. Drop down, if you want to drop, like select an option. Radio buttons also for selection. Checkbox. Image, I'm displaying something. Canvas is where you can allow drawing to happen. I haven't played a lot with Canvas, to be honest. Screen, if you want to make a new screen. Text area is similar to label. It allows it a bigger spot. You could also have the user type into a next text area. Chart, displaying a chart. Slider is if you want to have someone select it. And then photo select obviously allows the person to select photos. Now what you can do is over here, you can click on an element on your screen. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger there. Right here, I'm allowed to click here, and then over on my workspace area, it gives me the ability to change my properties. So the properties, IDs, the very most important thing about each and every element you drop onto your screen. ID is the name of that particular element. Please, 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 to save yourself a headache later, anytime you make an element, I would highly encourage you to name that ID descriptively. And I like to also name the ID with what it is. So for example, I clicked on a label, it tells me the ID is info label. If I click here, red button. So if you drop in a button in your ID's name, try to put the word button. Because what that's going to be helpful for is if you have to go find the ID later, especially when we start into coding, then you know, oh, that guy is a button. Because if you just put red, you'll be like, oh, is red a button? Is it a word? Is it a label? So try to add what kind of element are you adding in. Go back to my here. So this guy has a text. That is what's displaying. So if I change this to hello, I'll change the text that's there. Width is how big of the text box I have or label I have. Height, again. X position, Y position is where is it on our app. If you go over here on the app, do you see how I have an X and a Y coordinate? It does start at 0, 0 and then goes all the way down to 320, 450 is the numbers there. So it's not a coordinate plane. 0, 0 is not in the middle. Text color, I am allowed to do a text picker, so I can kind of pick the color I want. Background color is what color do I want here. Keep in mind there is 4 things here. The fourth one is how transparent is it. So if I do a 0 on the transparency, then it means I don't have to have a background color there. What font do I want? What's the size of the font? Is it left? What's the border? What's the border color? Border radius would be how much. Ooh, can't get the border to show up here, people. Oh, I should probably change the border width. So the border radius allows it to be a little bit more curved on the inside. Hidden allows you to hide it. So if you want it to not display right away in code, then you could have it display when we get to our coding area. Depth means, do you want it to be to the front, to the back? If you want it so you can layer things on top of one another. This allows you to do a bunch of different things. The other things I'm allowed to do, I'm allowed to duplicate. I can apply a certain theme. I can copy this to another screen. There are themes that you can click on. So right here, there are many, I would say, different ideas people have made that you can have for color matching if you don't want to think of different colors on your own. So for example, maybe I want to do lemonade. Then what it does is it changes everything to lemonade design for me. Makes it a little prettier. When I am working on this, so if you click on each thing, you're allowed to kind of do different ideas. Different elements have different properties for you to change. So for example, pictures right here, my flowers that I clicked on, I have the ability to select an image. If I click choose, I do have the ability to upload a file. That would be the files that you have on your computer. You can select a link. That's what this one is. So this is a link from the web. So if you go and look for it in Google, just make sure you copy the image URL. Don't click the image, the URL up here. And then there's icons. So maybe you want to be able to use, I don't know, the Pinterest logo. So then I could use the Pinterest logo and not have to go find that image somewhere on there. So each of these contain, fill, cover, that allows you kind of to change what the image is going to look like. And again, you still have that border radius and whatnot. If I want to go to a new screen, I have to click the trash screen. And then I'm allowed to click around. Screens are also labeled. Again, label that screen to the best of your ability. So explain what it is, what is on it, and then make sure you put the word screen. You are allowed to change the background color, and you can also change the image of that particular background as well. Make default allows you to say this is the very first image or very first screen that happens when you push run on that. So being able to change a bunch of different things. If I want to add a brand new screen, I would make a new screen. In that case, I would add this screen. Maybe it is, oh, I don't know. It's about updating. Maybe it's about flowers. So flowers screen is what I'm going to name it. I'm going to make the background color be red. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a button in. With that button, I have to make sure I name it. So maybe it's the next button. And it doesn't need to be capitalized. It doesn't need to be anything of that nature. Oh, button. There we go. Oh, I can't name it that long. Interesting. Or is there already a next button? That makes me question. There might be a next button. Ah, there is a next button. That's why it got angry with me. Ah ha ha. So I can't name this guy next button because there's already an ID of somebody that is called next button. So I would have to name him next button 2. So you can't name elements the same name, which makes sense, right? I'm going to make sure it says next. I'm going to change the text color to be that color. And then I'm going to change it to be that color for that. Terrible designing, but nevertheless, I'm allowed to pick what area things I want. If you want a button to have an image on it, you're also allowed to do that information as well. So just kind of playing around, looking at it. Something I want to make sure we get through is information that we need to be able to have. The element ID, like I said, it's a very specific, unique name given to the element on the screen by the programmer. Please, please, please save yourself some problems later. Make those IDs specific and unique so you don't have to go back and fix them later. Every time you add something to the screen. Any element you add, please make sure it has a good name. And I like to, like I said, put what kind it is. So if it's a button, make sure button's in the name. Some elements that can collect some input. Input would be like button, text input, drop down, radio button, checkboxes, sliders, photo select. Those could all select input for us, or the user could interact with our app using those elements. Displaying or outputting, label, image, canvas, chart. Also in here would be what is the other name? Text area. Text area would be another one also I would add to that area. So right here, I would add, oops, sorry guys, can't write very well today. I would add text area to that display information. That's when you have a lot of information that you have to display for the user. So that is all information that needs to go into your notes, these 3 bits of information. Now, I would like you to complete levels 2 through 7 on code.org. Each of them kind of let you play around a little bit, learning about the system, learning about how to use App Lab to design things. You're not doing any coding today, you are just designing and changing information. So now if I click out of here, on here, I'm just going to click run, and then I can click the finish button. That's how you know you can move to the next one, is if you push the finish button. So like number 2, it's telling me on my instructions. So I got to read my instructions. You can pull down here and then you can be able to see things. Click on the screen element, match the theme in the design toolbox theme, drop down to the picture below. So what I got to do on number 2 here is I got to click on my screen element, clicked. Okay, it says screen down here. And I'm going to select this design. So I'm going to go through my themes. Looks like it's area 51, right? So I'm going to click on it. Yep, it matches. Yay me. Okay, so that one, that's all you needed to do. Now you're probably like, Marsh, there's no finish button. You're right. You have to run the app first to be able to click finish. You can't change anything while the app's running. So if you're like, oh, why can't I change it? You need to push reset to be able to get into changing mode. Then you can actually click finish. Okay. As you continue through, you're going to continue to be asked questions to do things. Make sure you read the information. They are going to ask you to change colors, things like that. Number 7, you are completely creating a brand new app. So if I scroll down here on the instructions, they give you that there is this app that they want you to build. So you're dragging and dropping things. You want to make sure, that you have all of these designs. This keyboard right here, this piano keyboard, if you go under Classroom, where you clicked on this link, you will be able to find that exact keyboard. I made a copy for you guys, so you guys don't have to go find it on the internet. These 2 little guys right here, those are icons that you can go find. The rest of them are basic elements that you can drag and drop on your app. So I want you to finish numbers 2 through 7. 8 is a question. You do not need to complete that one. Okay, so numbers 2 through 7, I would like you to finish for the day today.